Welcome to a start of a new anime review series. This time I'm reviewing another series by the manga group Clamp. Series called Toshiba Reservoir Chronicle, though released over here the anime is referred to simply as Toshiba Chronicle. The series basically aired from 2005 to 2009. Aired pretty much 52 episodes, had two OVA miniseries, one being 3 episodes, the other one being 2, and a film. I'll get to those later. With this particular one, I'm going to cover the first 6 episodes of the series. I was originally planning on covering the first 5, but I ran out of time yesterday, so I couldn't exactly get to reviewing this. Now, why didn't I do reviews yesterday? Because, well, here's kind of the reason why. I got home after 5 o'clock, and by the time I have to get home, I was in a Discord call for most of the evening, up until 9 o'clock, and finally, I had to finish some comic books before I finally resumed watching this. And today I got to episode 6. Before I get to the anime itself, let's talk about the characters. We have the main character, Sharon. I'm thinking, Sharon, isn't that also the same character who was the love interest of the main character, Cardcaptor Sakura? Yes. Same character name. Yeah, these two characters are pretty much, their designs and names are taken from that particular series, and Clamp has every right to reuse these particular character designs. Though here's the difference between Sharon and Sakura in this show compared to Cardcaptor Sakura. One thing is two actually a lot older, like about 5 or 6 years older. I think they're about 17, 18 years old compared to Cardcaptor Sakura, which by the time of Clear Card, she's about 14 years old now. I think so. They're about a few years older. Sharon is an archaeologist in the series, and he's in love with Sakura. Yeah, and they try to confess their feelings in the pilot episode, but doesn't go any place. He's voiced by Jason Labert, who did voice a character from Clear Card. And speaking of Clear Card, Sakura is voiced by Monica Rail. Yeah, this is the same actress who voiced Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura, Clear Card. Yes, same guy. Same woman, excuse me. Kurganite, who is a big bulky guy, thinking big bulky guy, well, he's kind of beefy anyways. Tall, kind of loud. It must be Christopher Sabat voicing this character. Yes, I watched the Funimation dub on another site. For some reason, Funimation streaming service does not have the series in there, despite the fact they had a license to dub the damn series. I don't know why, it's bizarre. And then you have 5D Fraudright, voiced by the man who was accused of sexual harassment earlier this year, Vic Manolia. Yeah, that Vic Manolia. The same guy who also voiced Eric Elrig from the series Fullmetal Alchemist, and earlier this year, aside from accused of sexual harassment, was basically returned to voice one of his most well-known characters of his career, Broly, who he did a fantastic job with. And of course, the man is now accusing Funimation he's basically suing for defamation of character. Oh yeah, and the whole thing of basically him being accused of sexual harassment, yeah, it's basically, from what I heard about it, it's just a bunch of female fans, plus Monica Rail and Jane Marceni. Basically, it's their word against his that he sexually harassed them. I'm kind of like, okay, we only have their word on this. As far as I know, there's no evidence to support this. And I've heard those two have since backtracked what they said. The fans, I'm not really sure. But as for Monica Rail and Jay Marsari, those two have since backtracked what they said. I think they've since apologized for what they said. But the female fans, no, I haven't heard anything about it. Now, I heard this year. I know I'm talking about basically a real life thing involving a voice actor. Yeah, I heard about this. I'm like, okay. Yeah, this is nothing new. If this happened roughly 10 years ago, it would be a big shock to people. Nowadays, it's not new news. I mean, this all started with Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey being accused of sexual harassment. When those two got accused, people started coming out of the closet accusing a boatload of other celebrities. Vic Mignogna was the most recent one. I think this is old news, and Yeah, we should just move on. We also have in this series Theodore Mokina, voiced by Carrie Savage, who does a fantastic job voicing the character. Yep. And we also see in the start of the series, we see Bai Wing Ring, who's the main villain of the series. He is voiced by, well, at the start of the season, it's Randy Tellman. I'm not sure why they replaced him for the second season. I mean, unlike other voice actors you replaced, usually it's because they're accused of. Oh, that's why. Okay, so at least this is a better reason than, let's say, being fired for being, like, arrested. Yeah, the reason why he got replaced after the first season? Here's the reason why. The man died. Yep. Randy Tellman died. That's the reason why he was replaced. There's also Zhang Hao, who only appears briefly in the first couple episodes of the series. Yep. And we have a couple people who I have seen before in the series. I was so happy to see this. It's something in the series did not adapt the Triple X Holics, like their mirror version of this particular crossover. Yes, the series has had at least 2 crossovers in the course of these 5 episodes. Like in just the first episode, we had a crossover with Triple X Holic, which I was so happy with that. And this I really appreciated this, the fact that we actually had Colin Clickenbeard and Todd Hepburn reprising their characters from Triple X Holic for this show. Now, in the manga, these 2 are recurring characters in the series, and I believe the series also had Yukito Yuko actually die. Like, this one actually kind of depicts her death. Now, the series also is basically shows the reason why Watsuki exists. Despite, here's the thing, the series is basically like an excuse to have a bunch of characters cross over each other. Clamp is one of like a few people I know of, like few manga creators who love having various characters from various works meet up with each other. Kishimoto's done it with Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump. They created a Fairy Tail, did it with Raidmaster and Fairy Tail, and he's doing one upcoming soon called Heroes, which crosses between Raidmaster, Fairy Tail, and Eden Zero. Edgar, if you're watching this, look forward to see that. That actually looks, it sounds pretty interesting. As far as I can tell, I think that's it. Those are the ones I can think of who actually have done that when it comes to various series they've done, and they had characters from these series meeting each other. Yeah, surprisingly, no other writer has ever done this. I mean, I don't think Kishimoto's going to do this anytime soon. I think Oda has, but was basically a character from One Shot. Not for the manga series he worked on. Yep. And aside from that, there is like one other character, which I will talk about when I get to him. Yeah, they have a character from a series called X. Yeah, this is sort of what I looked up about this series. Is that it's a post-apocalyptic type of series done by Clamp, and apparently the publication of the series was halted after releasing like 18 volumes of the manga. It's particularly very odd, and I believe that they actually retained the dub actors for the series. I don't. Let me take a look on here, because I was quite surprised. Now I knew about the Triple X Holic crossover because I knew about that one. I did not know they crossed over with. Now I also knew about they crossed over Kagura Sakura. They had appeared for like one chapter of the manga, but I did not know they crossed over with X. I had no idea about that. It's particularly very odd. Yeah, they pop up in episode number 3. Yeah, they pop up in episode 3. Who are characters from the series X? Yeah, it's a series that came out pretty much around the same time Kagura Sakura did. Yeah, apparently Clamp can do like 4 or 5 different series at the same time. Yeah, I looked up online. Apparently, like do a chapter like Talk, it takes them 2 days to do that one. Another series took them like 5 days to do a chapter for that one. And this is a group of 4 women working on one chapter. Yeah. Now the plot for the series is this, and this is kind of starting with the pilot episode, that Sharon and Sakura want to confess their feelings for each other, but they can't. It's not because of their social name, because Sakura in this world is a princess. Her brother, Toya, Yes, her brother is Toya in this reality because why not? And he's the king of the Cloud Kingdom. Yukito is the high priest, and he's also Toya's lover. I'm not surprised about that because I would kind of like that in the main damn manga, or in Cardcaptor Sakura. Yep, their father, from what I heard, is the same. It's the same, not exactly the same character in Cardcaptor Sakura. It's the same design guy who was the father in Cardcaptor Sakura, who's basically the father in this one, but he died. hmm And pretty much like in the pilot episode, we also see uh, Kurgan and Rez in their own worlds, which from what I can tell, the first episode looked like they adapted for the first episode. The first two chapters of the manga kind of interspliced them. That's what it looks like to me. Like if anybody has ever compare or contrast this manga with the manga and this show, the first episode just an adaptation of the first two chapters. Yeah, during the first 6 episodes, they cover the first apparently they cover the first 13 chapters in just 6 episodes. That's actually not that bad. No, not at all. Of course, do various things. Kurgan basically is a bloodthirsty warrior who just lives for battle. Fright basically sealed up somebody. Yeah, this is not explained until later on in the series of why the heck he did this. hmm Yeah, he doesn't do very much in the episode. In the first episode, Kurgan doesn't do very much of waving a sword around, and they get sent off to another dimension. Basically, the whole episode is focused on Sakura and Sharon. The episode started off with him with Sharon arriving back at his home, come back from his diggies on for like one day, and he has to go back the very next day. Of course, Sakura went to go visit him, and apparently because she's a princess, I mean the style of this looks very similar to that of Aladdin. I don't think Clamp was ripping off Aladdin, smoking hot princess, meeting up with somebody who's not, let's say, of noble blood, but at least that Sharon is not a known petty thief, like Aladdin is known for being. Sharon is an archaeologist who studied ruins, and he's basically a foreigner to the country. They don't explain why until later on in the series of why he came to the Cloud Country. Yep. And, oh yeah, in case you're wondering, is Toya a bit overprotective of Sakura like he is in Cardcaptor Sakura? Yes, he is. Though, that one was basically I was known for comedic effect. This series, I don't think, from what I can tell, he has a problem with Sharon at all. Yeah, he doesn't have a hate for him like he does in Cardcaptor Sakura, though it's a version of the character. Tomoyo exists in the show, though she's from the same series as Korganov. Yep. Yeah, apparently in that world she's a princess. Why not? Because in Cardcaptor Sakura she technically was a princess. She's a daughter of a smoking hot rich woman. Yep. And he basically, Sharon's looking at the ruins, and then he basically said he'd meet up with Sakura later, and all of a sudden he sees Sakura at the ruins. She's in a trance, and then wings sprout from her back, and then they shatter. And then, like, robots show up, and the king shows up to basically sound them off, and then Yukito basically says, "Come with me, bring her," and explains that the wings are actually her memories. Yes. So, they sent him off to meet up with Yukito, the Dimension Witch. That was actually a title they never actually referred to her in. If you watch the Funimation dub for Triple X Holic, they never refer to her at all. They just refer to her as a witch, and she's very mysterious. Yeah. The thing with Triple X Holic is they never finished up in the manga. There's a lot of stuff in the manga they didn't adapt. And then they arrive in their world. They arrive in basically modern day Japan via a portal. Why not? That's nothing you really knew. A lot of fiction basically do crossovers. Let's do those freaking portals. Yep. And they all end up at Yukito's shop. And here's kind of the strange thing. The way the anime depicts basically Yukito, it's like she always has the same exact expression on her face. She's like somewhat angry that they're here, that they come from another dimension basically to her home. Yeah, I don't really understand why she does this for it. I mean, yes, she's known for more emotion than just basically scowling at 4 people. Yeah, basically, Sharon basically wants to go look for Saka's memories. Fine. Kurgov wants to go back to his world, and Fright just wants to go someplace else. So they had to give up stuff. Fright had to give up his tattoo on his back, which is something they never actually. I think they did show his tattoo briefly once in the first episode, then he had to get rid of it for some reason. I'm not sure where the heck he got that tattoo from. Yeah. And what about, well, Korgonite? Give up his sword. They had in the first episode. And Sharon had to give up basically his bond with Sakura. He doesn't say anything about it, but I think he would outright say no because he loves the woman. So she gives him a Mokina, a white Mokina, who basically acts like a dimensional portal for them. So they get sent off to the Haitian Republic, which they actually end up there about halfway through episode 2. Yeah, it's particularly a little weird about this particular series. Like, the first episode they show like 3 different worlds, and they end up basically a Kyoto shot toward the end of episode 1, and then they're there for a Kyoto shot for like 50% of the episode, and then they go off to another country. Yeah, it's particularly weird. So in this world, there are 2 feathers. Sharon finds the first feather really easily. Like, he just stumbles across as soon as they get there. And where do they end up? They basically end up in the middle of a gang war. Which, you are thinking, gang war. Are they going to use guns, clubs, knives, chains? Nope. I believe they describe it as... Let's see, what is the name of this stuff? I believe it's called Croc, I think it's. Yeah, when they got there, they got their 3 spirits. Like, Sharon has got like a fire one, Corgirl basically got a water one, and Fright got a wind one. Okay? And the way they fire off these things, it's like kind of similar to how Deadshot fires his gun off his wrist blast. Just do this. Yeah, and the leader of one gang and this one gang is comprised of people who wear black coat, yellow shirt, black pants, and have a mohawk. Their leader is voiced by Sonny Surratt. Yeah, I know the guy's voice because I've heard his voice in many different anime, so I knew who he was right away. The other gang is led by a guy with goggles. Yep. And they fight for a while, and then they retreat, and then he has a sort of conversation with Sharon, and then they go off to a apartment run by the 2 characters from the series X, which their names are Sortia Argiswa, and his wife, who surprisingly looks like Yuko. Yeah, I'm not really sure why this is. It's particularly very odd. Sortia is voiced by Tony Oliver, while his smoking hot wife, who looks exactly like Yuko, she is voiced by Leah Stargent. That's who voice. I believe they also retain these voice actors from that show. I of course never watched X, so I don't know how the show goes. hmm Here they're just a retired couple. No, they're not old. They're just basically retired from their adventuring from the X series. So they just appear for this one arc, and I don't think they return after this. They return like once after this arc, but yeah. So they have the gang they have the let's just call them the Sharon gang. Yeah, because they don't give these people a name. Just call them the Sharon gang. They all stay at her house. Well, let's just say her boarding house for free because they're doing us a favor for Yuko. Okay, so they go out and find and apparently they have Sean give Sakura her first feather, and she's able to basically survive because she was actually near death. She was actually turning cold. When they put the feather in, basically restored her to life, kept her alive. Then she was able to move around a little bit later. And then after that, they pretty much spend the next couple episodes looking for the feather. And at one point, the friend of theirs they actually meet in this one. His name is, what is his name here? The Kudan. That's the name of the thing. Murashi. Yeah, he actually he plays a somewhat a part in here. We also run into here because, well, alternate versions. Tomoyo appears in here as a schoolgirl for a brief cameo. We also see Toya and Yokido, who they've jokingly referred to him as the king, which apparently the whole gang refers to him as king as a joke because Shower referred to him as a king. Okay. So they run a pancake house. Is this a play on Waffle House? Yeah, it's particularly a little weird. Yeah. They eventually have where Sakura basically goes on her own. The by fact she still has one memory in her head. Meets up with the leader of the vicious gang. Sort of tames him because he was going to kidnap her whole as a hostage for Sharon. And then, like, apparently off screen, his gang decided to disband, like, leave him because he's a boss who always loses. He's not a terrible boss per se. He's just a boss who always loses fights. So he decides to basically tell the other guy, "I'm disbanding my gang. You can have my territory. Just take good care of it." He's like, "Okay, fine. I'll take your territory." And then, of course, well, Marcia is basically are kidnapped by a celebrity. I'm not kidding about that. He's kidnapped by a freaking celebrity. A idol. Because it's freaking Japan. Of course, singers are called idols over there. Yep, a woman who's a singer, an actress. And she's got Kudan, and she's very weak. Yeah, Kudan basically shoots at music. Fright basically is like, figure though, yeah, Sharon, save your strength for the other guy who's probably a lot more stronger than this woman is. Yeah. And apparently he can fly with his Kudan. He flies all over the place and dodge everything. Eventually he does get up to her closer and he pins her to the ground on this basically this palace that she's at. Pin her on the roof. No, he does not rape her or kiss her or basically attempt to have sex with her. He just basically pins her down just to calm her down and calls her cute. Yep. And for some reason, she doesn't blush at that. And it's revealed that she's actually in a relationship with Shogo. Yeah, he's the leader of the other gang. Yeah, and then Shao and him have the fight because they think he has the feather. And they fight for a good period of time, and then it's revealed that Murashita, here, his Kudan has got the feather. Somehow it's never totally explained. And then basically, Sharon just jumps up, sticks his hand inside of the thing's yin yang thing on his chest, and basically pulls also burning his hand. And eventually, after he takes the feather, gives the Sakura, she's able to slowly recover. She's basically able to talk a little better. And she does not remember Shaoran. Well, she eventually will. But it's a good start. They got 2 feathers. Not a bad start to it. And of course, see the villains of the series. See them watching and then not doing very much. I gotta say, for the first 6 episodes, these actually are not that bad. It's a good start to this series, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Now, the next review I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to cover episodes 7 to 12. Actually, it'll be 7 to 11. Yeah. Which, by the way, will be the next arc of the series. Yep. Which will be them going to a country known as Kiro Country. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to cover that particular arc in the next episode. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Yeah, I'm enjoying the series so far. I'm going to review the rest of the series. Yes, I have read the entire manga, and it's a good manga. It took me a while to read it, but it's a really good manga to read. The manga itself for Toshiba Reservoir Chronicle, it's only 233 chapters, collecting about 20 books. Yep. The sequel series abruptly ending after just 19 chapters. I'm like, for a sequel series, that's really short. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Next review, movie review. And I'm reviewing a movie that a lot of people love, and I really enjoy this film. Okay? But to next review. Bye.